I would like to keep it very really a lightning talk. I don't want to bore you guys with a lot of technicalities into it. So as you can see, the title, Orchestrating Your Career as a Cloud Native Engineer. So as you all know, Kubernetes is a containerization platform, orchestrating the containers. You can orchestrate your life leading to success. So I would like to share my experience with Kubernetes and how it had helped me to grow in my career. No one is better than BMK, who has witnessed my growth from day one, as he rightly mentioned, from BNZ days. The first thing, basically, when I started working with Kubernetes, what I've learned with Kubernetes is you get exposed to a lot of other skill sets, or you can enhance on various skills, like for example, automation, application deployment on containers, and like various other skills that I've attained or learned during the journey, especially like building pipelines, because that is one of the magical thing those engineers used to think, how can I deploy my application straight away from system test to user acceptance test environment to production straight away, just by click of a button. So all those automation skills, all I've learned by starting with Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is one of the sought after skill, which makes you stand out in the market, and that does definitely will project you in the market. Embracing DevOps culture. So what do you mean by that is Kubernetes is very closely aligned with DevOps culture. What I mean is, back in those days, I was a Java developer, and then I've started working on Kubernetes, mainly OpenShift platform. I had this challenge requesting for creating namespaces and whatnot, and the platform team used to say, no, we can't give you access, you can't do this, you can't do that. And so the only way is to foster the collaboration between the development team and the operations team, or the administration, the platform administration team. So that fosters the collaboration between those two teams. And I was kind of a middleman back in those days, talking to the developers as well as to the platform team, understanding the patterns so that I can automate and build the automation, so that I can empower the engineers so that they can actually focus on the productivity rather than worrying about how should I deploy this to production, or taking all the way from system test environment to to production. So that is something I really learned during the journey. The DevOps culture itself. This is very interesting. Continuous learning and adaptability. So what is continuous learning and adaptability? We all know Kubernetes ecosystem, as Caleb and James, everyone mentioned, it has grown tremendously from last like 10 years, 1 decade, right? It's that ecosystem is growing in a rapid, fast and rapid pace, and you need to constantly upskill yourself to learn the new features, and pretty much it's a continuous learning to keep up what's happening in the market, or what's happening with the product, or with the Kubernetes platform itself. And to be able to keep up those things, you have to continuously learn and adapt to those changes, and that will make you a standard professional in the market, and which is pretty much everyone is looking after those professionals who has got this expertise. So these are the essential skills, I would say. Continuous learning and adaptability are the essential skills for any platform engineer, or any engineer who wants to get into the Kubernetes world. Cloud native expertise. So this is something pretty much close to me. I had this kind of a dream when I started working on Kubernetes. I was always attracted to the cloud teams who were in BNZ at those days, working in cloud teams like AWS and Azure. I was wanting to get into the cloud technologies and learn stuff there, but I didn't had the opportunity initially. So immediately what happened, they were working on EKS and AKS. So the new work has started. So because of my expertise on the Kubernetes, I have applied for a role, and then they have respected my expertise since I've been working in for last 2 to 3 years in the organization, and I had the opportunity to get onto the cloud native technologies, where I've learned the load balancing, scalability, all those things. So I was able to contribute onto the cloud ecosystem as well. So that's something that Kubernetes does for you. When you start working with it, you'll love the product and the platform. Expanding your career opportunities, which is exactly I've mentioned in the previous points or the bullet points. This is the most the demand skill job in the market. There are so many organizations who are adopting containers these days, looking for these professionals who has got these expertise, who can change their organization and make the developers or their product into the next stage. So this is definitely one of the important expertise that you can attain. So yeah, start jumping into the Kubernetes and start learning. Lastly, this is something which I haven't done personally, but I would like to project this, the community engagement and the contributions. As Caleb mentioned, there are so many contributors on the Kubernetes open source community. So haven't done any sort of contributions, but what I've done is, because of learning the Kubernetes, I was able to contribute on the other open source projects, not directly the Kubernetes, but I have done some sort of a contribution on the other open source projects. Yeah, it's nice bunch of people on the community where you can open up a PRs and start contributing. Yeah, that's pretty much. As I've told you, just as much as Kubernetes orchestrate containers, you can orchestrate your life for success. Thank you.